Good morning. Well, starting the next part of this, which is finishing the painting of this arbor. Yesterday I finished painting the first coat of all the rust paint, and I started the second coat of the green paint, or greenish blue paint in the garage on the hoops. So today, it really rained hard last night. So it's all still wet, so I'm kind of having to wait. I've got today to paint, and then it's going to be probably 7 or 8 days of nothing but rain and horrible kind of windy weather. So I've got to get that second coat of rust paint on today, no matter what. So I may be working late, but we're going to finish it off. I've kind of changed the way I was working, using different ladders and kind of finding what's the best way for me, even though I'm going up and down the ladder a lot, to kind of reload my brush. I found that I was getting too tense on the ladder and I was doing more fiddly stuff trying to hold on the tray. So instead I'm just going up and down and I'm doing kind of stuff I can reach. Grab a paintbrush, grab a roller in each hand, go up, fire off the little sections I want, do big swaths with this ladder and then change to the smaller ladder. And then I can, touch up the spots I've missed. So it seems a little bit chaotic, but it seems to have me overall moving faster, which is kind of the key, right? So before I was really trying to get every little bit and all in one go, and then the wind would pick up or whatever. But yeah, so I think I'm working efficiently now, or at least as much as I can for this kind of situation. So I also found out that the other paint, the green paint, is touch dry in an hour, and you can recoat, or they call reapply in French, after 4. So that's fantastic. So even next week, if I can get, I'm going to take a bit of a risk, if I can get a few days where I get 2 or 3 hours in a row where there's going to be a little bit of a break, or at least it's just not raining or not too windy, then I'm going to start doing little sections of that arbor next week in between. But we'll see how it works out. We have all our plants, a whole bunch of them, they finally arrived, a whole bunch of them are pretty much dead. So poor Sam, my wife, is fighting to get those sorted. But yeah, what else? Just some idea of how big the arbor is. It's about 75 feet long and about 15 feet high, and then, about 4 meters across. I don't know what that is. But anyways, yeah, it's a good size. It's hard to show on camera, but it's definitely a lot of work, and it adds a lot to this garden. So that's why I'm spending so much time getting it ready. So this week I'll be planting in between rainstorms. I'll try to do a video for that, and then otherwise I'm just going to do a short vid with this one, see how far I get today, and wish me luck. Well, it's a few days later, quite a few days later, because it's been raining so much. But so my plan is today, I've gotten up pretty early, like 7 a.m. here. And what I want to do is I want to start working on painting all the arbor. I can recoat according to what's on the tin after 4 hours. So my goal is to kind of just kill myself all day, go for one end, and by the time I get down there, it'll be certainly more than 4 hours, and then go back by the end of the day. Now, am I going to get it? I don't know, but we'll see. Worst case, I got tomorrow, and then possibly Sunday, and then it's going to rain again. So I've got a little window here, which hopefully I can get it all painted, all green, all lovely, and even up. We'll see. Tomorrow I'll try putting pieces up, but for today, I'm just going to focus on what's mostly been primed with the red rust paint behind me, under the catio there. There's a little section by the catio I haven't primed yet, but that's because it's hard to get to, and it's a little teeny half a pole and a little strip to the house. So not worried about it right now. I'll consider it pretty much done otherwise, if I can get through this. So it's gonna be a real busy day, really sore. I'll be on the ibuprofen tomorrow for sure, but I'll get it done, maybe. Well, it's been quite a few days, basically. It's been nothing but this kind of strange weather where it's raining and it's cloudy and it's really windy. And so I can't paint. I'll not be able to paint. And it's a bit too windy to feel like I'm safe to go up and assemble it, even if I were to paint it later. So I don't know how many days it's been, 4 days, something like that. Got nothing really done. Just been inside watching TV. Met up with some friends, that sort of thing. Trying to keep on just doing this one thing, which is a little silly, but I want to finish it. I couldn't even work on the drainage channels. Like I can't pour concrete because it just pours rain every once in a while. So it's not been a good run. But trying to figure something out to do. So what I have to do is the bars that run along the edge, like that. I did find the original 2. I think. Now, originally what we did is we ended up buying a bar that's the right length, and we're going to reuse one of the old bars because it was also the right length. And I couldn't figure out why my measurements were wrong, because basically the pole's this distance and every single one of these hoops is a meter, roughly, like 90% there. Like some of them are like 99%, some of them are like just like a centimeter or 2 off. That's fine, you'll never see it. At least I don't care. So, but I couldn't figure out why it was off so much. And then I totally realized it's because they're tabs. So on the original where they joined, there was a 4 centimeter piece on top and a 4 centimeter piece on the bottom that would join together. I've got example 1 over there. And basically, you cut that off, you redo the math, and I actually know which ends fit properly and which ends I can do from the original old 2 pieces. Now the question is, how do I get that 4 centimeters made up? Because they won't line up with the poles. And yes, I know it's only 4 centimeters, but that's still a pretty good distance to be able to get things to line up. And if I don't want to have it 4 centimeters off so it's tilted like that. Because if the top is bigger than the bottom, then the bottom is going to stick in by 4 centimeters. You will notice that it's quite a bit. So, and then also the poles would be all off. So, and I don't want to bend them 4 centimeters over and have them all crooked by 4 centimeters. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to take the metal that I bought, cut, well, a little more than 4 centimeters, maybe 6 or something like that, and then try to splice that to the end, or weld that to the end of those pieces, and then go up on a ladder and then try to do a weld on top with the original. And, well, they're both original, but with the new join. So that's quite a big step up in my kind of welding game. But we're going to give it a go. Got nothing else to do anyway, so what I'm going to try to do first today is simply to add, sounds ridiculous, just 4 centimeters of metal onto a piece of metal. Don't know if I can do it, but let's give it a go, right? I just hope it's strong enough. Like the thing is, it's not holding up a house, it's not a car, we're not making airplanes or spaceships or anything like that. It's just kind of, and even then, there's only going to be, I think on one of the connections, there's maybe going to be some weight on it, but not really. So I think I can risk the fact that I'm a bit of a poop welder and just give it a go. Worst case is I can always, you know, bolt a piece of metal or a bar underneath it or something like that and drill 2 holes and kind of squish it together at one point. But, you know, it's not going to cause it all to come collapsing down, put it that way. So I think it's worth a chance to practice welding again and give it a go. Because, yeah, I'm not getting anything else done. So I might as well try that, right? Let's see how it goes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got an extension here, or I got one of these ends, which we used to have the overlapping in the connection. I'm going to cut that off. I put a little mark here so I know which end to put my 4 centimeters on, a little +4. And basically I'm going to chop this off. I'm going to kind of grind this and get this all kind of cleaned up. And I put like a 45-degree angle on this way. And then, because this piece is extremely long, I think it used to go quite a ways out towards the fence, almost into, you know, like, so this much wider than deeper than our garden. So I guess over the years, that wall's come forward or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, I've certainly got an extra 20 centimeters on the end, if not a meter. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reuse this old piece and use that to stick onto it. I do have a brand new piece that I've already rust treated and stuff like that, but if I can use that in the future, why not just save it? Because it's a good 4 meter length, so I'll just keep it, because I'm going to eventually use it for building something, right? Whereas this is going to get chopped off anyway, so I might as well just use it. So I've got to cut this off, I've got to grind it in the 45, and I've got to clean it out nice and tidy so it's shiny, at least for about a finger's width or so. And then I'm going to cut the other end off, flip it around, cut the other end off, and then chop that into 2 pieces. And then I got to do the same with this piece that's on the ground down here, which is the other side. It's a shorter piece, and then basically I'm going to use it, the other piece that I'm cutting in half down there, to stick on this. So jam piece on here, jam piece on the other one, and then I'll angle those, get them to the exact right length, and then I'll put them up, test them, put an angle on there as well on this side, go up in the ladder if the weather's nice enough and it's not raining. I'll put an angle on that, and then I'll try to weld that seam while I'm up in the air, which is a bit weird, but let's go for it. All right, let's clean this up. Yeah, so the idea is to join it together like that. You want to get it to the right thing. I'll put an angle on this, see how this works first. Now I'm going to flip it over, I'm going to tack the back of this and then flip it back and then fill that all in, as long as it's level, which hopefully it will be. That's crazy, it's actually a different width. Well, that's no fun. And they're different thicknesses as well. What the heck? How can that be? I guess it just corroded over time. That's actually good. Wow. I got lucky there. Okay. So yeah, it's different sizes of metal from one end of the same beam to the other. So I'm just going to kind of split the difference. Oh well, we do what we can, right? Cool. Let's do that. Let's start welding then. That seems to be stuck together. It's holding. It's good enough. Now I'm going to flip it over and try to fill it in a bit more. But I'm going to have it hanging over the edge instead of being together. Be fine. Let's do it. All right, well, there's one. It's not looking great. There's lots of inclusions and all sorts of junk, but it's lifted up a little bit, but I think it'll do. It's not too bad. At least it feels really sturdy, so yeah. First one of those anyways. All right, so I've gone up on the pole outside and look what I need. So the next hole, basically along on the bar that's up there, needs 65 centimeters to get to the front edge of this hole over here. So I intentionally I cut 6 centimeters and I only needed 4, and it actually hasn't shrunk, hasn't moved, so I need to cut 2 off. So that's cool. Let's do that now. Measure. And exactly 65. So that's good. Cool. So now I've got to put a 45 on it and get it ready for when I put it up top. Yeah. Alrighty, same process. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these, I guess they're cast iron kind of molded toppers. I'm going to take them off, and I'm going to take a bolt, which is amazing because perfect use, I think, for the JB weld. I did one over on another post over there, and it worked fabulously. So a good use for the JB weld is I'm going to take a bolt because they used to be threaded at the top of these cast iron things, but they're so rusted and gone. So what I'm going to do is clean out the holes and then insert that bolt in there. and then put an actual extra nut on it, which kind of gives me a bit of the height anyways. Basically just by putting it as deep as it'll go, and then I'll cut the top of the bolt off, and then I can back off the nut and lower these bars on top, and then keep them clamped down. Most of the heads on these poles are just loose. They just kind of rattle around. There's like every, I don't know, there doesn't seem to be any kind of real number, but it seems like randomly they're actually welded onto the tops, or something's happened to them that are on the tops. I don't know if they've welded through the hole and stuck them to the top of the pole or not, but yeah, they won't come off. So, and it just seems to be randomly every few. So obviously I won't take those ones off, but I'll just put JB Weld in the hole after it's cleaned out. And it should stick up, chop the head off, back the screw off so I've got a nice clean thread, or the bolt off, the nut off, and then I'll put the bar on, put the nut back on the bolt, and we're good to go. So next up, I'm going to be grinding a 45 on this piece that's attached up here. I can't take it down since it's welded, but I'm going to cut a little bit of a nubbin up there that's on. It's hanging off from where it snapped, and then I'll grind the 45. Alrighty. Well, that's all good to go for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm just going to weld her up when I get a bit better weather. I don't feel like welding when it could possibly rain. I think that's a bit of a dumb idea. So, all that electricity and stuff. Yeah, just going to do the other piece. That's it for today. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Can't do much more. It's been a bit of a letdown of a week, but I'm getting there. You know, I'm going to hopefully weld tomorrow. It's supposed to be quiet day because it's a holiday, but apparently I can work from 10 till 12. So from just running a bead and doing the little tap, 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 and just at least getting it stitched together a bit, I'm going to do that tomorrow, and then I'll just paint around it. And then what I'll do on Friday, because it's not a holiday, is I will properly weld it, and I'll grind it down and make it the way it should be, and then I can just paint that one in a small section. I'm also going to have to paint all the rods as they go through all the hoops, and weld them. So I'll put them, get everything lined up. I can do a lot of lining up and getting things ready tomorrow, positioning stuff as long as the JB Weld stuff works. And yeah, we get a lot done in the next 2 days. So stay tuned for the next video where I'm sure I'll be done this thing. Anyways, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.